Checking in at number 12 in Notre Dame's 25 most important players for the 2020 season list by blueandgold.com. Voted on by our staff, basically put together the top 25 list and put it together AP style. Number 12 is Kevin Austin, Lou. Wide receiver for the Fighting Irish, did not play last year, but the expectations for him this season are pretty big.
Yeah, this is similar to Chris Tyree, who we had at 20th. Here's somebody who wasn't even on the team last year. He did practice with the team, which is important. But are we putting him too high? In fact, I even had him in my top 10 at number 9, I believe. And this is, again, one of those situations where you're looking at more so what he's able to do for this team. And, one of the first things you think of, look, he didn't play last year and he only caught 5 balls as a freshman for 90 yards. How is he suddenly going to be, an impact player? Well, let's look at the history over the last 5 years under Brian Kelly, or so 5 or 6 years. Will Fuller caught 6 passes as a freshman, and wow, the next year he catches 77 and sets a school record with 15 touchdown receptions. Equanimous St. Brown catches 1 pass as a freshman, and the next season, as a sophomore, catches, I believe it was 58. You can go with Miles Boykin, goes into his senior year with 12 career catches, and then all of a sudden becomes a 3rd-round pick. Chase Claypool, the way he's emerged. You can even go back to like Golden Tate, who had something like 5 or 6 catches as a freshman with just basically the go route. And all of a sudden, as a sophomore, you're saying, holy smokes, who is this guy? And what really struck me, Mike, was in that March 5th practice, the only one they had in the spring, I wasn't really expecting to see Kevin Austin that much, because usually when you're coming back from a suspension, it's like, okay, you got to earn your way back. You're going to start with the 4th team and, kind of work your way up. They put him in that first group right off the bat, and he was repeatedly targeted. Chase Claypool talked about this is the next star developing. And that's why I had him in the top 10.
Yeah, I had him in the top 10 as well, Lou. I just pulled my list up. I had him at number 8. Man, talk about a guy who didn't get to play but did practice. He's got to be hungry to make an impact. And talent-wise, Lou, I think you can certainly make the argument that he's the best receiver on the team.
Yeah, well, some of the other receivers talked about it when he just even came in as a freshman. He was 6'2" and a really robust 210. It was unlike when Braden Lenzy or Lawrence Keys and Joe Wilkins, that group arrived later. But here was somebody who physically, as a freshman, already looked the part. And so he was put into the lineup that season. Again, didn't have the big stats, but we've talked about a number of guys who haven't had the big stats as a freshman. And with the opportunity that's presented there right now, it's not like you have a Chase Claypool coming back or a Miles Boykin, some established receiver. Now, Ben Skoranek did have a lot of catches, 110 at Northwestern, but he wasn't in this offense. So even for him, there's going to be that adjustment period. And as we mentioned, even though he was suspended from game activity last year, he was at all the practices. And from, going – not only that, but working with the scout team, he's going against the top defense as well. And look, when you have Troy Pride and Alohi Gilman and Jalen Elliott and Dante Vaughn, those kind of veterans back there, in those practices alone, you're going to become a better player.